So you were saying that marketing a service is very different than marketing a product. And how is that?
Yeah, one of the things that service professionals really need to keep top of mind when they're marketing their service is that because they don't have a tangible product, it's not something that their prospective customer or client can really engage with, can touch and feel. So they have to market on different factors. And the three key factors that they really should be focusing on with any of their marketing, any of their advertising is the know, like, and trust factors. So if you think, for example, I'm just going to pull an example out of the air. So let's say a chiropractor decides to do some kind of advertisement, let's say a print advertisement. It's really important that anything that goes into print, for example, really convey those know, like, and trust factors. Because that prospective customer looking at that advertisement doesn't have anything tangible that they can really grasp in order to decide if they should hire that chiropractor. So any service professional, whether they're real estate, a paralegal, a healthcare practitioner, they need to really work these know, like, and trust factors into all of into their marketing strategy. That's really the key difference.
So how do people get to, number one, know you, then like you, then trust you, or how do you facilitate that process?
So the ideal marketing, so any advertising you do is part of your marketing. So let's think, for example, about your website. That's a really good way where you can hit on all three. Now, you might not always be hitting on all three. Sometimes a piece of advertising you do as part of your marketing might be just really emphasizing, the trust that, how can you convey that the prospect should trust you? The ideal situation, though, is where you're hitting on all three. So if we think of your website, for example, everything we do should really be attempting to drive people to our website, because there you have a really dynamic, robust platform where you can be conveying all of these factors. So video is a great example, and Lynn, you know all about the importance of video. It's what you're all about.
Oh, yes.
So video is one of the key ways that we can help people to get to trust us and to know us and ideally like us, simply by getting in front of the camera and talking about things like pain points. If you can get in front of the camera and really hit upon the pain points of your prospective customers, it lets them know that you understand what it is that they're dealing with. And then in that same video, you can also be talking about how you address those pain points. So that's a perfect example. Testimonials. Testimonials are one of the most powerful ways that we can market, because testimonials help people make a decision. So if you don't yet have testimonials, start gathering them. It doesn't take a lot of testimonials, maybe just start with 2 or 3, but get those up on your website. If you're doing any kind of advertising, incorporate testimonials into the advertising. Of everything you do, it'll probably be the one key thing that draws people's attention and helps them make the decision to go from being a prospect to a customer.
Because it helps build trust.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the whole thing of, well, someone else, has good things to say. Now, how you do testimonials is important. I really believe in, ideally you get permission from the person. That's what I do. I always get permission to use a testimonial. And then I actually show the person how I'm going to be using it, because unless the person's business doesn't allow it, there may be some legalities around using the full name, for example. But in my case, I always use the person's full name, because otherwise it can maybe seem like it's not maybe a legitimate testimonial. But it's essentially word of mouth. It's putting word of mouth in practice. But yeah, absolutely, use testimonials for sure. And the other thing is, you're on LinkedIn. You know the power of LinkedIn.
Yes.
If you're a service professional, you absolutely want to have a really good LinkedIn page, a LinkedIn profile, because first of all, it's an incredibly powerful search engine, but it's like your professional calling card. And absolutely be putting testimonials on your LinkedIn page as well, because if someone's searching you or your business, your LinkedIn page is going to come up quite possibly even above your website. So chances are people will go there first, and they may just see a little bit of your LinkedIn profile. So you can always even start your summary with a testimonial that they may be able to see a little bit of. So that can be very effective as well.
Okay. Good to keep in mind. Now, networking is another thing that you promote.
Yes. Yes. I'm a big believer in doing networking, but doing it the right way.
Yes.
And for service professionals in particular, and networking for our businesses is obviously effective no matter what we do. It's just a matter of, where do we network, and are we engaging with the right contacts at these networking events that we go to. So, it's a matter of making good use of our time. But for service professionals in particular, networking is incredibly effective, particularly because of those know, like, and trust factors I was talking about. It's a very quick, time-efficient way to get past that hurdle of, okay, do people know me? Can I initially develop a really good rapport and demonstrate that I'm someone that can be trusted? So one of the things that I talk about, I have a workshop around networking, and one of the things that I talk about is, if you're going to go to a networking event and take the time to go, make sure you have something of value that you can give to people. It's really good to have a business card. That's okay. And that's kind of a minimum, but I wouldn't limit it just to having a business card. So one of the things, I'm just thinking of, okay, so let's say, for example, on my website, I have a giveaway for service professionals, and it's the 5 mistakes service professionals make when marketing their business and how to fix them. So one of the things I would do going to a networking event, if I wanted to engage with service professionals, I would print out copies of that, have them in my purse, and then I would just pull them out and I would give those to people and attach my business card to that. Now, that is a way to, first of all, start a conversation, because if let's say I'm talking with an insurance professional, and I could start the conversation by saying, do you have any challenges finding new clients? So if that opens up the door and I get some feedback, maybe the person is having a challenge, now I can offer them something of value. I have my contact information on it, and they're going to remember me much more than if I just handed them my business card. So the key to effective networking is be memorable. It's not just in what you wear, it's not just in how you conduct yourself, but it's in what you give in terms of immediate value that maybe also takes the person by surprise, but that they can take away and say, wow, that's really good information that I can apply, and that person just gave it to me, right? Yeah. So good networking takes some preparation, but once you have it in place, it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. Just go to more networking events and keep, giving away the same value.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what about referrals?
Yes, and so referrals has kind of been a big focus for me in the last half of 2018 and definitely coming into 2019, because I realized I kind of did an evaluation of my sales approach in 2018 and realized I wasn't my weak spot was not asking for referrals enough and not having a systematic process in place to ask for referrals. So I kind of made a goal to really tighten up on that and get more efficient around that. So in terms of referrals, especially for service professionals, referrals are so important, and it's important to work it into your sales and marketing system so that even if someone says no, even if we have a prospect who ultimately decides not to use our service, actually I can give you an example. I just had a conversation with someone this morning. This gentleman, we were talking about one of my services. He decided at this time not to use it. And I actually set up a time to talk with him and ask for feedback to say, how can I improve my process? Was there something in particular I didn't do? So we ended up having a really good conversation and kept the door open to future business. And then I made sure to also ask if he could keep me in mind for other people. So we really, it's about always keeping those doors open. Now, you can do referrals. I suggest doing it kind of formally in your own business, having a system in place. The other thing is to reach out into the community and see what's going on locally around referral clubs. So, and this is something actually, I was invited to the B2B referral club through the chamber that you're involved in. And that was an amazing experience. You guys have a really fantastic formal system in place to help people generate referrals, I was only there for that meeting when I was presenting, but maybe you could, do you want to maybe give a little bit more information? Because I don't think I'm going to explain it very well, how it works.
Well, actually, it's not just about it's trust building. As we get to know each other, we start becoming invested in each other's success, because if they're successful, because we've helped them by sharing referrals, sharing ideas, then they are going to trust us and refer us to other people. So instead of just passing over a business card, we encourage each other to actually sit down and have a face-to-face coffee for a minimum of 15 minutes, but a lot of them stretch out into an hour, and we find out that, we've got similar values and similar expectations and similar challenges, and we get to really like each other. And then it's like, I have a friend. It's not, I know somebody, but I have a friend that I can recommend. And we feel ever so much more comfortable recommending. And as we get to know each other's businesses even better, then we know what kind of clients they're looking for and what kind of work they do. So, yes. So we learn about each other's businesses, and we do professional development. Hence, we had you in as a presenter. So,
it was great. Yeah, and I have to say, because I do referral building over the phone, so I'll connect with, especially with people who aren't local. But I have to say the face-to-face, because you guys encourage face-to-face referral meetings, correct? Yes. So like you said, sitting down 50 minutes or maybe having a coffee, that does definitely make a more permanent impact, because now you have the experience, the engagement, the memory, and I think the person as a potential referral does definitely stay more top of mind. So it's really good. It's really good. Referrals are something that I think we, as business professionals, we can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable with the idea of asking for them, but it's a really good habit to get into. And I would say, go back to your client base and start asking for referrals from people where you've provided really good service. You've had a really good experience. Even if they're no longer a client, or ideally they're still a client, reach out and ask them if they can keep you in mind, but also make it easy for them. The one thing I do whenever I'm doing a referral situation is I always give so let's say you had agreed to send me referrals. I always give a script that the person can send by text or email. Because as I always say, you know your business best. So tell me in a few sentences, what would you want me to give to someone to entice them to pick up the phone and call you, or to go check out your website? So make it easy for the person, because that way they're more likely to actually send you referrals if you've told them what to say in an email. Very effective.
Yes, and it doesn't stop them from putting their own spin on it, so it sounds like them talking, but it still gives them a framework to work with.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. Well, and I've had people say to me, I'm not really sure how to describe what you do. So I'm like, well, this makes it easy. You just tell them with a little bit of a blurb, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we've reached the 15-minute mark. Time flew.
All right.
But anyway, I'm just going to recap. You promote networking, but have something to give. Referral building, LinkedIn is you say that's even better than, well, it's as equally important as what your website is. Yeah. And getting involved in the community and how people know, like, and trust you. So that is a lot of information, and I'm really glad that it's going to live up on Facebook for a while, so that people can go back and take more notes, because you gave us a lot. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.